Browns have found themselves a sure thing in Shedeur. Shador Sanders got the start. Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett hurt. First quarter wasn't great. This is 3rd and 9, using his feet. And he's going to run for 10 yards. That's the first down. Keeps the drive moving. Later in the drive, it's 3rd and 12. Sanders, Jamari, thrash. But it's short of a first down, so it's 4th down now for the Browns. They go for it on 4th and 1, empty set, trying to evade, and you know what? He's just got to throw this thing away. So a tough start for Shedeur and the Browns. But the second quarter, he found his rhythm, and it was a primetime performance. 2nd and goal, how about finding Caden Davis for 6? And that was an NFL throw. We're tied up at 7 at this point. Later in the second quarter, 2nd and 12 for the Browns, and watch this throw. He evades. Look at the touch. And Luke Floria with the one-handed catch. Great throw. Even better catch by Floria. Later in the drive, Sanders again sidesteps the rush, and that's another touchdown. And you know what? Even LeBron likes it. He's like, yo, that young king looking good out there. Keep it up. Sanders 14 of 23 for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hey, the Browns win 30-10. Here is Shedeur on his performance.
I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't nervous, so I didn't really have too much adrenaline. It was just getting comfortable. That's all it is. Plenty of games before, like I was nervous, but I felt like I knew the answers to the test. So it's like when you feel unprepared, then when you don't feel like you're ready for the moment. I know I'm ready for the moment. Did I play up to par? No, I don't feel like I did. But overall, the main goal was to win, and that's honestly what we did.
All right, ahead on SportsCenter, what comes next for Shedeur Sanders and the Browns quarterback competition? But why you should pump the brakes on the idea of Sanders becoming the starter there in Cleveland anytime soon. Panthers starter Bryce Young, look, he was just as impressive in that preseason debut against the Browns. Young only got 2 series of work, but he led Carolina on a touchdown before he took a seat, including a pretty 35-yard deep ball to first-round pick Teteroa McMillan, and he was very efficient as well on the night. 4 of 6, 50.
Shedeur Sanders, his pro football debut.
I don't ever remember a rookie that has been drafted outside of the first round taking the league by storm. Sanders throws, touchdown, putting on a show here in the second quarter.
I wasn't nervous, it was just getting comfortable. Well, I say I'm comfortable being uncomfortable.
Tell you what, the box score looked good for Shedeur Sanders, but let's take a deeper next-gen dive. He was great on deep passes, completing 5 of 7 throws for 10 or more yards downfield. That was for 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. And when he had to get rid of it quickly, he was an efficient 7 for 11 for 45 yards on throws released less than 2.5 seconds after the snap, so he wasn't holding on to the football. So let's go inside the numbers with our football analyst, Sam Acho. So what impressed you most from what you saw out of Shedeur Sanders, Sam?
He looked like a vet. There were times where you saw the ball jump off of the screen on a few of his throws, namely that first touchdown where he rolled out to the left and layered the ball over a flat defender and also to the corner of the end zone. There was another play where he's getting pressure in the pocket and he throws a dime in the middle of the field. Shedeur Sanders looked like he's been doing this for an extremely long time. And oh, by the way, it wasn't just his arm. He was able to evade defenders and use his legs as well.
Okay, obviously he went into the game 4th on the depth chart. If he's going to move up on that depth chart, what do you think he has to improve on?
He has to make his layups. What do I mean by that? There were a couple easy passes that he simply missed. At those moments, he did look like a rookie. There were wide open receivers who he overthrew a few different times. So that part of his game has to improve if he wants to move up the depth chart. Secondly, there were a few times where he did scramble and he did take sacks. We saw that at Colorado. You don't want to see that again here in the NFL. So number 1, being more accurate on the easy passes, make your layups. Number 2, if you're going to scramble, try to avoid some of those sacks.
Okay, so with all of that being said, obviously Brown fans are ecstatic with what they saw last night. Give me realistic expectations you think for Shedeur Sanders this season.
Realistically, you could expect Shador Sanders to start off number 2 on the depth chart. The reason I say that is that he had an opportunity to play and he impressed. So I believe that'll help him climb up for number 4, maybe number 3, a little bit higher, especially if he stays consistent. I don't know if one preseason performance is going to have Shador Sanders jump above Joe Flacco when it comes to number 1 on the depth chart, but you can expect him second. And if he continues to be consistent, he'll have opportunities to play come the regular season.
Jeremy Fowler and Sam Acho are back with us to talk about Shedeur Sanders. And Sam, I'm going to start with you. What was your reaction to Shedeur Sanders' first game as a pro?
I was extremely impressed. Shedeur Sanders was comfortable and confident. You saw him stand in the pocket and take hits and deliver strikes. Some of the throws that he made popped and jumped off of the screen. They were veteran-type plays. He looked like a vet. He did not look like a rookie. What also impressed me was his ability to use his legs. He did not show that in college at Colorado. So for me, the level of development and growth for Shedeur Sanders and calmness on the sideline stood out more than anything else.
So, Jeremy, based on what you've heard out of Browns camp, did Shedeur do enough last night to improve his standing on the depth chart?
Doesn't hurt. I mean, he put himself in a nice position, especially because everybody else is hurt. Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett have had hamstring issues. This is a prime opportunity for Shedeur Sanders to work his way potentially into that 2 spot, because Joe Flacco, I think the expectation is that he'll earn the starting job as long as things go the way they have been. He'll probably start that 3rd preseason game. So they're sort of treating him like a starter right now. But otherwise, this is a blank canvas. And he showed accuracy. He's been accurate in camp. And I know the Browns are really happy with his ability to avoid sacks. That was the issue of Colorado. You know, lack of urgency in the pocket has been a knock on him, especially talking to some people that were involved in the Panthers-Browns practice this week before the preseason game. So he showed the ability to get rid of the ball and do that. Now, can he do it against some better competition, some more pressure in the backfield? That's going to be the issue for him. But like those red zone throws were lights out. I was texting with some people around the league. They said that was impressive. He reset his feet, delivered the ball, tight window spots, and it was good.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we saw at Colorado, and accuracy is a part of his game. He led the country in accuracy last year in completion percentage in college. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
But wait, there's more. As in rookies to keep an eye on Saturday as preseason action continues. Titans fans will get their first chance to see number 1 overall pick Cam Ward in action as Tennessee takes on Tampa Bay in his lone season at Miami. Ward set single-season records for passing yards and TDs. The Jags traded up to the 2nd spot to select Heisman winner and 2-way star Travis Hunter. Head coach Liam Cohen told reporters Thursday that Hunter will take snaps on both sides of the ball in his debut. And in a crowded quarterback room in New York, Jaxson Dart will look to move up the depth chart as head coach Brian Dable confirmed the former Ole Miss standout would see time in the Giants' preseason opener against the Bills. All right, Jeremy and Sam still with us. Jeremy, I start with you here. What are you hearing is the plan for Jaxson Dart in terms of his development to try and become a starter, starting with tonight?
Yeah, so tonight they just want to see poise and a good, clean operation. They're keeping it pretty simple with Jaxson Dart, bringing him up from the ground up. But they've been impressed with how highly motivated he is and how quickly he has learned the offense. So far, so good. Russell Wilson, everybody around the league pretty much believes he's entrenched as the starter and will get a healthy run there that gives Dart time to develop. But they just want to see him run the offense cleanly. They're not expecting huge splash plays. Use your mobility when you need it, but so far, so good.
All right, Sam, your turn now. As far as grading on that rookie curve, what do you want to see Jaxson Dart show his teammates and coaches tonight?
I want to see him show his teammates that the moment isn't too big for him. I don't want to see him look like a rookie. We saw Shedeur Sanders, for example, look like a veteran in his first action. What will it look like for Jaxson Dart? We talk about the speed of the game. I remember going from college to the NFL. There's a different level in the preseason. It also speeds up in the regular season. I want to see how will Jaxson Dart adjust to the speed of the NFL.
All right, let's talk about another quarterback. Now, it's crazy that a guy who went first overall at the quarterback position is talked about as little as Cam Ward is. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, we led the show with, for crying out loud. Jeremy, what's the word on Ward from Titans camp?
Well, he's actually going to play. We're talking about these other quarterbacks that probably aren't going to play. Cam Ward is going to be in that lineup. And so I spent some time at Tennessee's camp. Head coach Brian Callahan told me that the work ethic is legit. He's in the building 4:35 a.m. every day. He's bringing teammates with him. So he seems to be a multiplier in that area. He says he processes information quickly, and they'll even go back and forth. Cam Ward will give his opinion if he doesn't agree with a criticism